We've got Typhoon Vong Fong, and it is a powerful storm, currently the equivalent of a Category 5 hurricane. So a typhoon and a hurricane, same exact storm, different parts of the world. That's why they're named differently. So a Cat 5 is as strong as it gets, 324 kilometers per hour. It is heading towards Japan. The good news, if any, it will be weakening. That's what is anticipated. The forecast is having it at Category 1 by the time it makes landfall. This, by the way, is what they're keeping an eye on in India. In the Bay of Bengal, they've got a storm system that is churning around there. So that's still to be determined, but it is making its way towards land in the long-range forecast. So by Saturday, it could be as strong as a Cat 3. Okay, temperatures. We'll get to that in a second, but let's talk about the winds. Very gusty on Wednesday. If this was your recycling day, yeah, not great, 50, 70 kilometers per hour, depending on where you were. We do have a few light showers anticipated, especially off the shores of Georgian Bay and Lake Huron. That will be through the day on Thursday, but then starting to clear out. High pressure is moving in, and we do have a really nice long-range forecast. In fact, through the long weekend, temperatures are on the upswing, and the sun will be shining for much of the weekend. Not the whole weekend, but it's looking pretty good for your Thanksgiving get-together. Storm surge warning. We're paying attention to this along the shores of the St. Lawrence. Okay, coming up. Interesting stuff. Let's talk about the weather. This is not seismic, meteorological. That's where we'll get back to. Okay, so we do have a few showers anticipated through the day on Thursday. The heavier rain, south coast, Newfoundland, 5 to 10 millimeters. But we're concerned about the tides and the storm surge. These two things are really what you should be thinking about in Atlantic Canada over the next couple of days, especially if you live along the coast. So the king tide is happening now. We had the lunar eclipse. That certainly exacerbated the situation. So the king tide happens every year, but this one may be particularly bad. So these tides are very high. They could cause localized flooding, some very rough surf, that kind of thing. Halifax, really nice forecast though for you. So temperatures in the mid-teens, lots of sunshine anticipated. Fredericton looks like this, 13s and 14s. So you right through the long weekend, you've got a nice forecast. So enjoy. Seasonal average. Yeah, not way above, at least by 5 degrees. So normal daytime highs around 14. You were closer to 19, had a couple of millimeters of rain. Speaking of temperatures, these were your temperatures across the country. So 13.7 in St. John's, not bad. 14.3 in Toronto. Another cool day in Winnipeg at 6.9, but that's actually warmer than it was on Tuesday. Temperatures are still quite mild in the BC interior. Lytton, the hot spot in the country, 3 days in a row. Okay, so we do have some rain approaching the north coast of BC, but once we make our way over the Rockies, sunshine, warm temperatures. Things are heating up in Alberta over the next couple of days. Cool conditions around the Great Lakes, but things are really improving for you through the weekend. We do have a couple of leftover showers in Newfoundland and Labrador, northern areas of Quebec. Seasonal values come Friday. Your weekend, in fact, across much of the east is looking pretty decent, although we do have a system starting to develop and moving up the eastern seaboard. So that may have an impact on you by Sunday, Monday in Atlantic Canada. In the meantime, it's going to be a wet weekend for BC, both central and south coast. It doesn't look too bad for Alberta. Okay, coming up, we are going to be going to Storm Hunters, the latest edition. Tornado terror. Don't go away. And that was the voice of Storm Hunter, Mark Robinson, the latest edition of Storm Hunters coming up momentarily. It is Tornado Terror. So Mark and Jacqueline on the chase again. Let's talk about what happened on Wednesday. So these are your temperatures from coast to coast. We can see it was quite mild in Lytton, BC. Again, 3 days in a row. Warmest spot in the country, 23.9 degrees. A little cooler in Winnipeg. Yet again, you're below seasonal at 6.9 degrees. And temperature is quite mild across the Maritimes. 18.1 in Fredericton. It was 19 in Halifax. So yeah, lots of warmth there on the coasts anyway. We do have a pattern setting up over the next several days of rain, central and north coast, snow in the Yukon and Alaska as well. So this is what it looks like. It's an Aleutian low, and it keeps on spinning. So we get these systems not just central and north, but eventually spilling down into the south coast as well. All of this wet weather for BC translates into warm weather for Alberta. As far as temperatures in Vancouver go, yeah, not bad on Thursday, 19 degrees. But we can see that with all of that rain, long-range forecast looks like it's going to be bringing temperatures down because of the cloud cover, the wet weather. Calgary looks like this, bumping up. I keep talking about 19. It's bumping up to 20 degrees now on Friday. Enjoy. We do have a few showers headed your way for the weekend, however. Okay, coming up. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Dr. Doug. Okay, so that's our future, but what about our past? Good morning, I'm Kim MacDonald. Let's take a look at your temperatures from Wednesday. So Lytton proving to be the hot spot again, 3 days in a row, 23.9 degrees. Warm day in Vancouver, although it was foggy. We've got 18.1 in Fredericton. Not bad. Temperatures across the Maritimes have been mild. That trend continues. A little bit cooler for Winnipeg, 6.9. Saskatoon temperatures on the chilly side as well, 10 degrees. As far as active weather is concerned, very little rain expected for the Maritimes. It's isolated showers, less than 5 millimeters. Heavier rain along the mouth of the St. Lawrence and certainly the south coast of Newfoundland. 5 to 10 millimeters of rain expected. Not heavy, but 5 to 10 millimeters. We are looking at this. This is the bigger story, I think, is the storm surge, the high tides as well. So we do have a storm surge warning along the mouth of the St. Lawrence. So be prepared for that. The tides are extremely high down around the Bay of Fundy as well. And we've got this big area of low pressure for Friday morning. So this is your long-range forecast. The weekend, not so bad in the Maritimes or Newfoundland, but we do have a developing system that's going to be moving up the eastern seaboard. It looks like it may have an impact on you in Newfoundland come Sunday. But overall, not a bad weekend. And it looks pretty good for you across the Great Lakes as well. Hey.